I'm Peter with Ericsson Enterprise Wireless, and this is the Enlightened series. The internet is a dangerous place these days with ransomware, malware, phishing, and zero-day attacks. So how do you keep your users safe just by when they want to simply browse the internet? So let's light up how Ericsson NetCloud SASE's Advanced Web SECURITY Advanced Web Security can safeguard your users from the dirty internet. All right, so let's draw our structure over here. Put a window up top. We got people on the inside. Now, this could be, remote, someone working remotely from home, coffee shop, etc. This could be a fixed site, headquarters, whatever, or even a branch location. Now, typically organizations, when you're clicking on an email link, just typing in a URL, clicking on a link from another site to go somewhere else, that outbound connection is generally inspected by a secure web gateway. Now, a secure web gateway is a forward proxy. It'll terminate the connection once you hit it. And then there's a security policy in place. Often it has signatures of known vulnerabilities. It has allowed sites, and it also has sites that are blocked. So then it basically handles your connection on your behalf. That's what proxies do. And in this instance, right, if it's a OK site on the good list, generally, news sites, company's homepage, competitors, things like that. This is just a good site, and you would allow, and people would be, on their way. Now, in here, there are probably categories of disallowed sites, forbidden sites, bad sites. Could be, any of the categories, those that are unsafe for work or gambling or, even, cat video sites because you don't want them wasting time in the office. And then for those, you may simply just block. Now, if it is a legitimate site and the user gets the message that it's been blocked, but it's still legit and they need to visit it for whatever reason, then they gotta send a ticket to the help desk, have them unblock it within the policy, etc., etc. Now, with Ericsson's NetCloud Advanced Web Security, we actually offer a third option. So if we go over here for risky or unknown. So this could be a new site out there on the internet. In fact, did you know 70% of all the new domains being registered are for malicious purposes, and they're getting registered every day, but they might not have made it yet into the policy. Now, for those sites, rather than, obviously you wouldn't want to just allow it, and you haven't categorized it yet specifically to potentially block it, maybe what you want to do is isolate it. And this happens in a cloud container. So we got a virtual browser in the cloud container, and we would just simply isolate it, protecting the user, protecting the organization, protecting against potential data loss. And then once we determine, its risk level, its category, etc., then it can be added to one of the other lists. Now, you probably don't want to just isolate the entire internet because depending on the situation and some of the sites, right, you can kind of get granular on how locked down, I should say, that you want it. So we have some pre-built policies in place that just allow you, make it real simple to let you set the policy and then, let the system handle it. So the first one would be just basic. And that, generally allows websites to go back and forth. And then if there's uploads or downloads, we would do, a simple AV scan on that file before it gets delivered to the user. Here in this isolated cloud container, any malicious active content, can be contained in here rather than having it, detonate on the local machine. Then there's safe. Now, safe still doesn't necessarily isolate it, but it does not. So there's no downloads of files, just to be real protective of it. And we'll, do an AV scan of the site just to make sure there's no funny stuff going on there. Like those third-party ad servers or those drive-by ransomware servers kind of, hiding out as real sites. We'll check that. So then there is secure. Now with secure is kind of like targeted isolation. You're not looking to isolate everything, but maybe you isolate certain pieces like the risky, the unknown. Maybe you even isolate Gmail for your users. They want to get to their personal email. You don't necessarily want to block it. They may have something happening, but you isolate Gmail. So just in case, if there's any malware, ransomware, phishing sites, etc. in there, that stays self-contained here in the cloud container rather than impacting the device and browser. Now with secure, like I said, it's sort of this targeted isolation based on the application, the domain, the level of risk, maybe even the category that's chosen in here. And by the way, you can just choose certain categories and it already includes, a whole bunch of domains that are within that known category. So it's not as if you got to enter hundreds of domains to then, create your policy. And with this, we'll have content disarm and reconstruct enabled. So any file downloads that happen have to go through this engine and be sanitized and cleaned before it actually gets delivered. Then we go to full isolate. Now this would be, no uploads, downloads. We kind of have full isolation going on. All the content is being rendered here in this isolated cloud container, and then just the pixels are then delivered back to the browser, to the user in the location. We would also, in this instance, like say phishing sites, for instance, we would make that site read only. So say there's spear phishing going on with your executives, or an employee is just in a hurry. They don't hover over the link. They don't check the sender, and they just end up, clicking the link. It's within the categories. You fully isolate it. You read only. And then in this instance, say they do hit a phishing site and it's asking for their credentials. Since it's read only, those credentials are blanked out. So you're actually not even allowing them to enter anything on this website. They can still navigate, but you're not going to allow them to just give up their credentials to a potential phishing site. Credential harvesting is a big thing going on. And then finally, of course, is the straight up block. Kind of in this category, bad. Maybe it hasn't been categorized yet, but with all of the kind of, policies in place, you're not even going to take the chance. Then you would just send the user a little note letting them know this violates the policy, or this is outside the acceptable use, or whatever kind of message you want to give them to let them know that they ain't going nowhere with this site. So it's real simple because we got a bunch of them pre-built for you, and then you can go in, obviously, and tweak to get as granular as you may want. With each of these, it's certainly effective in protecting your organization and your users from all of the nasty stuff that's out there. And from a user experience, they might not even know, might not even realize that they're in an isolated cloud container, and this is sort of being virtually displayed to them because the performance is fantastic. So that's how you can safeguard and protect your users from all the nasty stuff out on the internet. If you'd like to learn more, of course, you can go to cradlepoint.com. I am Peter. Always sign your work. If you enjoy content like this, please hit that subscribe, like, and certainly share if you got a pal in IT or you're in IT yourself and you're kind of facing some of these challenges as users just keep clicking around. Even with phishing training, they say at least 5 to 7%, even with phishing training, will still go ahead and click that link. So just make sure you're protecting users from their own itchy clicker finger. Hey, thanks for watching. Let us know what else you'd like to see here on the Lightboard. And I'm Peter. Have a great day. See you next time on the Lightboard.